All right, so we have a Wizard 101 tier list. We're going to be doing every single area from Arc 1, basically just the main story though, from Wizard City all the way to Dragonspire. We won't be doing the Grizzleheim areas just yet. I'll probably do that in the Arc 2 video. This is going to be probably the last upload I make before the Arc 2 explain video comes out. But what I do want to do is after every single Arc explain video, I want to do a tier list of the areas. I think it's really fun. So I'll do an Arc 2 area tier list, and I'll do an Arc 3 and Arc 4, etc. In terms of the criteria, is basically just going to be like, it's going to be a mixture of a few things. Like it's going to be like if the story is okay, if the area looks good, and just, you know, pretty much how I feel about the area in general. If we go there for absolutely no reason, that might be a bump on where I put it. All right, anyways, here we go. Ravenwood is definitely just going to be a straight up S tier. Ravenwood is arguably the best area in the game and possibly the most important area in the game. It has Bartleby, it has just the 7 schools. It's beautiful looking, especially after the graphics update. But you go there for the most important reasons of all time. I don't see Ravenwood being anywhere else but S tier. So the Commons is also going to get an S tier. If not Ravenwood, the Commons is the second most iconic area in the game. The Commons is where you go to see the most head-ass conversations of all time, but I love it. This game would not be anywhere near what it is without the Commons. 100%. We're just going to continue with some more S tier. I mean, Unicorn Way, first area you go to that has enemies. It's your first fights, the Lost Souls, Lady Oriole, the arena as well. Just like the Commons in Ravenwood, I don't see Unicorn Way being anywhere else but S tier. So Golden Court is like C tier. Golden Court isn't horrible. You go there to obviously get your first gardening quest, and then you also go there for the catacombs and for Golem Tower, and then you have the Dragon's Mouth Cave, etc, etc. But because Dragoon Gear sucks now, you really don't go there at all. Old Town is A tier specifically just because of the bazaar, and also because Old Town is where you run into the first paywall. Trident Avenue is also going to be an A tier. Harvest Lord, the Kraken. I genuinely remember the days where people would hang around the Kraken. Like that was a legit hangout spot back in the day. Firecat Alley is going in B tier. I was never a big fan of Firecat Alley. Even as a kid, I was never really a big fan. Cyclops Lane too. They're both kind of in the same realm for me. I've never liked the Cyclops Lane color scheme, and I think the story is trash. I also do not like that myth wizard that you run into in Cyclops Lane. Nolan Stormgate, I think is his name. I do not like him at all. He is just no. Nightside is A tier. I just think it's iconic. I think Sunken City is just honestly an underrated dungeon, and also you get to Darkmoor from there. And also back in the day, the Death School used to be a hangout spot as well. Like dude, this is just bringing back memories. Haunted Cave, I'll give A tier. I honestly have no problem with that. I think Haunted Cave is great. Super iconic boss fight, and honestly much better than the Dark Cave, which speaking of which, I think the first D tier, the Dark Cave, it's basically the Haunted Cave but way worse. You only go to the Dark Cave for like I think only 2 reasons. I think there's only a couple of quests in the Dark Cave, and I think sometime in Arc 3 you have to fight what's his face? Crab Alley is going in S. I love Crab Alley. Waterworks, the quest line is super fun. It gives a lot of XP for the level. All right, we're in Krokotopia now, and this is where I think we're gonna probably get some F tier areas for sure. Oasis is just gonna be a D tier, simply because it needs a graphics update. Because Krokotopia is the biggest example of it looks like it was made in 2009. You get me? Like it has not been updated at all. Altar of Kings is going in A tier actually, simply because of the fact that that statue is amazing. Fun fact: if you go into Photomancy, you can actually look it down and see his feet. There actually is a bottom to the statue. I didn't know that. But yeah, just because of that statue, Altar of Kings is A tier. The interior design of the Altar of Kings is amazing. Royal Hall is the first F tier. It is a boring area, and the dig site is ugly. Tomb of Storms is going in A tier. That is a nice looking area though. Tomb of Storms looks so cool. I love it. Palace of Fire is another F tier. It's literally the Royal Hall without the dig site. Koranin Barracks is D tier. There's nothing special about it. Only thing I remember about Koranin Barracks is the bridges that just go to the other parts of the midsection of the map. That's about it. Hall of Champions is another D tier. For an area called Hall of Champions, it's pretty boring to look at. It has a good name, a very cool name, but it's boring. Grand Arena though, Grand Arena is an A tier. The Grand Arena is a great area for sure. I love that. It's gonna be a lot of A tier, by the way. Entrance Hall is pretty good looking. I think B tier. I think Entrance Hall is cool. Deseret Family Tomb. While I love the story of the Deseret and Onyx families and how they became to resent each other, they're not that great in terms of aesthetics. So they're both C tier for me. They're not as bad as Dark Cave and all these other ones, but I think just because of their story, I'll put it slightly above these, the rest of these below this. The rest of these are just terrible. Chamber of Fire, it's going in D tier because it's only slightly better than the Royal Hall and Palace of Fire. But the Chamber of Fire is so bad because the dig site in the middle of the Chamber of Fire is so hard to get through because it has those multiple levels and stories. I hate it. All right, here we go. We're in Marleybone now. So Ironworks is probably gonna just be like a C tier for me. I think the factory part is really interesting, but I just hate the fact that one, it's really easy to get pulled in there. And this is a personal opinion, but I miss Baxter's really old voice. I miss Baxter's old voice from way back in the day. If you know, you know. Trust me. The Royal Museum is gonna go in B tier. I think it's pretty cool in my opinion. Reagent Square is a solid S tier. I love Reagent Square. I love you see the newspapers flying around, people walking, people having conversations. Reagent Square legit feels like a bustling city. I love it. Newgate Prison's going in B tier. I actually appreciate Newgate Prison. It's pretty good. Knight's Court is a solid F. It's trash. Knight's Court is Chelsea Court, but worse. Hyde Park is pretty nice though. B tier. Hyde Park is great because unlike Knight's Court, the teleporters actually go to useful locations and it looks way better. The middle area is amazing with the one with Baxter spawns in. The fountain is beautiful and all that. But Knight's Court, what makes it worse is that the teleporters suck. Digmore Station is really awesome. I think it's a B tier. Which, speaking of Chelsea Court, it isn't that much better than Knight's Court, but it is better. So D tier. Also, I want to apologize for this not being in exact order, but it's pretty much in the order of like the... We'll be fine. All right, Mushu, here we go. Yoshihito Temple is definitely going to be in S tier. That is a beautiful area, chat. Super well designed. And I know Mushu definitely needs a graphics update, but Yoshihito Temple does look very good. I'll give it that 100%. Village of Sorrow is like Hamatsu Village, but slightly better because the purple aesthetic is way better than the aesthetic of Hamatsu Village. With that being said, it's just like a C tier. It does have that boss that you farm spell elements at, so that gives it a plus, I guess. The Tree of Life is actually going to get an A tier. Actually, no, it's going to get a B tier. And the reason why it's going to get a B tier is because the Tree of Life, for some reason, is like slightly darker than the other areas of Yoshihito Temple. And I'm pretty sure they did that on purpose. And I love the aesthetic of the Tree of Life. I love the eeriness of it. Katakai Outpost is going to get an F tier. I genuinely just hate questing through this place every single time I play it. Shirataki Temple isn't a horrible area, but it's just going in D tier. I don't like it that much. I think Wavebringer is a cool boss fight though. Hiship Village is F tier. It's a horrible area. I hate all the disease shit. The Jade Palace is obviously S tier. I mean, it's the Jade Palace. Absolutely gorgeous. Hamatsu Village is pretty much D. I just don't like it that much. Crimson Fields is going in F. It's an annoying dungeon. I don't like it. Cave of Solitude is S tier specifically because I love the way that middle area looks. It's beautiful. Could use a graphics update, but it still looks good regardless. I have to move the screen slightly out because my fucking face cam is starting to block some of the stuff we're gonna put on later. I'll fill in the black bars with like a random like GIF or something. I don't know. Ancient Burial Grounds is always really cool to me for some reason. I think the name is cool. I think the whole concept and why we go there is interesting as well. The story and all that. I'll give it a high C tier. I think Ancient Burial Grounds is pretty okay. Also, I actually just forgot that I put Wisteria and Grizzleheim in here, but I actually forgot some of the areas because I think some of them ended up on the Arc 2 template that I made, and I think I messed that up. So we're gonna probably skip those for now. We're just gonna strictly go to Dragonspire. So that will be in the next one, I promise. The Basilica is super cool. I think it's a B tier. I love the fact that you can see the Dragon Titan and Dragonspire Academy in the distance when you look out. Actually, A tier. What am I saying? Athenium is gonna be C. It's okay. It's mostly just a throwaway, but the lore master is there. So the Crystal Grove is B tier. I think I honestly love the way the Crystal Grove looks. Do I agree with the whole spider concept? Not really. It's really confusing as to why there's a bunch of spiders there, but hey, whatever. The Tower Archives is awesome. A tier. I think the Zerathax fight is hilarious, and the fact that he tries to betray us is also hilarious, and I think the area is super cool, so A tier. Necropolis is okay. It's getting a C tier, but I am a big fan of how much stone block you can get from this damn area. Like whenever I needed a bunch of stone block in order to craft something, I would literally just keep like changing roams and a bunch would spawn and I would just keep farming them. What's funny is that as a kid, the Labyrinth was one of my favorite dungeons, but now it's pretty damn difficult, long, and annoying. So I think D tier. Story-wise, it's great. You're literally confronting the person who summoned the Dragon Titan and his 3 helpers. I didn't know who they were until I learned the story. So the reason why we go there is very interesting and the story is awesome, but the dungeon itself is really tedious. It's pretty damn difficult for your level if you're going at around 45, and it's pretty damn long. And also one of the stone roses is all the way in the back of the map. Like if you want to complete the Prospector Z quest for Dragonspire, and let's say you forgot to get the Labyrinth rose the first time, you have to redo the majority of the dungeon all over again just to get that rose. It sucks. The Great Spire is obviously S tier. It's the first time we see the Dragon Titan. Well, we see his little eye, but we do see the Dragon Titan. Probably the most iconic fight in the game. Malistaire. It's incredible. I don't think anybody will argue that the Great Spire is S tier, so yeah. Okay, so I remember this. I separated the Grand Chasm and the Grand Chasm Pass specifically so I could do this. There you go. I mean, duh. I speak for so many people, Kingsaw, when I say that I wish we could have seen more of what Dragonspire looked like before the war happened. The only glimpse we get is through the Grand Chasm Pass. I wish we could have seen what Dragonspire looked like before the Dragon Titan army attacked, before everything went awry. We need some more with that, seriously. The Forum is F tier. It's boring as hell. The Crucible, I think, is a B tier, though. Might be actually, I think the Crucible is actually top. I know, actually, the Crucible is A tier. After learning about the lore, the reason why they go to the Crucible and its whole concept is super cool. Basically, all the bosses that you fight in the Crucible area is the entire Council of Wizards and Warriors. It makes a lot of sense that the strongest member of the Council of Wizards and Warriors which I think is Rurik Flamesoul, is the hardest boss fight of, well, I guess outside of Boris Blackrock technically, but I think Rurik is a little bit harder. Back in the day, he used to have like 8,000 HP. It was crazy. He had like 8,000 health. I think the Crucible is super cool, specifically because of the story and because of the fact that we're, like I said, you're literally fighting the entire Council of Wizards and Warriors, and I think it goes from weakest to strongest and their level of importance in terms of what the order that you fight them in. And of course, at the end, you fight Boris Blackrock, which if you guys didn't know, he was the last great hero to be placed in the Necropolis. He decided to just straight up go one-on-one against the Dragon Titan. Unfortunately, he did lose, but I think that that whole concept is just amazing. So the Crucible is an A tier for me. Coming down to the final three, the Drake Hatchery, I think is honestly pretty cool. Not as cool as some of the other ones, but I think it's a solid B tier. I think the fact that we hatch our own Drake egg honestly gives it a little bit of an edge. Plaza of Conquest is definitely going in S tier for me. I love the Plaza of Conquest, even as a kid. I've always been interested in that Gertok demon fight because he has no extra quest, no nothing. He's just there. And I'm curious what his lore is. I want to know about the Gertok demon, man. Seriously. I think he has like 9,000 HP, or at least back then he did. And like, no one knows why he's there. There's no extra quest that explains him. He's just there, you know? And to round out this tier list, we are going... Oh, I have to do shopping district too. I'll get the shopping district out the way. It's definitely a solid A tier. It's an iconic area. The Wizard City Dye Shop used to be the most amazing hangout spot. It's beautiful. One of the few Wizard City areas that's at nighttime. I love the shopping district. And to round out this tier list, Dragonspire Academy. Anticlimactic, but it's C tier. I don't like it that much, to be honest. This is the tier list. I hope you guys enjoy this video. This is very fun. I will be doing these after every single Arc Explained video. So the Arc 2 Explained video will come out next. Then the Arc 2 area tier list will come out. I appreciate you guys for stopping in. Look out for the next Arc 2 video. It's in the works. It's going to be a long video, and I can't wait for it to come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.